Hey guys, right, a few videos ago I'd mentioned how I still had a few of the Kenya videos that I'd filmed on my old mobile phone. I've got a different mobile now, so I had this slight problem of getting the files off my old mobile phone onto my new one because the two weren't compatible. And then I had these videos which I had to do something with, so I smashed out over this period of about a week the last of my Kenya videos from when I was in Kenya earlier this year, 2017. And in that video I mentioned how I had a few books here, these ones here, and that's where I did a lot of the research that I did for the Kenyan flowers, weeds, trees videos came from these books and a few other sources as well. But as I was talking about them, I kind of said out loud, I had an idea of perhaps making a video about my gardening books. So this is it, right? I'm crammed into the little spare room where we keep all our books. I won't show you the rest of my bookcases. A couple of reasons why. One, that's not what this video is about, and two, they're a bit of a mess and it's slightly embarrassing. So we've just got a little free shelved bookcase here. On the top row are all of our cooking books, and I keep them with my gardening books because to me gardening and cooking go hand in hand, because we do grow in our house a lot of fruit and veg, so it's nice to have all these different recipe books to get ideas from. But gardening books, right then, so there's my free Kenya books. I've got all kinds of things and I get them from places like charity shops. Amazon's good. I mean, I'm not getting paid or anything to say that, but for me, I like getting books from there. The selection's brilliant. Second-hand car boot sales. I'll tell you another random place as well that I've had some pretty good gardening books from. When you take stuff in your car to the tip, they sometimes have a clean plastic wheelie bin next to the skips, which is just for books. Well, they always make sure no one's looking, and then I'll have a little look through, and I've had all kinds of decent books from those. So, you know, wherever you can get them, really. So, Encyclopedia of Herbs, Royal Horticultural Society book. I've got quite a few RHS books. Very, very well written, very useful. An old book on trees and bushes in wood and hedgerow. Do you know what, thinking about it, I forget where I got this from. I think someone gave this to me. But it's a good look. It's got some really good illustrations that really help me identify what's what am I looking at. Alright, and then I've got like the kind of books that I mainly just use as picture books to flick through and get ideas, not actual, like, I don't use them as reference books. I'm not dipping in and out of them all the time to actually find a fact out. I call them a cough poo book. Cough for coffee table, poo for downstairs toilet, that kind of thing. The kind of book that you flick through when you're having, you know, when you're sitting on the toilet or when you're just browsing on your coffee table. So that's what I use that for. Another RHS book, The Great British Village Show. There's a couple of ideas about growing veg for show in there. And got quite a lot of allotment style handbooks, manuals. They've been very useful this year. You probably know if you watch these videos, it's our first year with an allotment plot. The allotment source book, that is like my Bible. Any fruit and veg that I want to grow, that's my go-to book really. I mean, I'll go to there first and then I'll look at all the others. I've got a few books about preservation, like how to store your garden produce. Because it's all very well growing all this stuff. You need to know what you can do with it. Right, I've got a little bit of a dream that if we ever win the lottery, it's going to be bye-bye Lancashire, hello Tuscany. So I've got the odd book about Mediterranean style self-sufficiency, you know, growing your own food and veg, that kind of thing. Living the good life, well recommend that. By Linda Cockburn, unfortunate surname, stop sniggering at the back please. Linda Cockburn, she's an Australian lady. She gave up her job to live the self-sufficient life, and it follows, it's like a diary, it follows her her trials and tribulations. So, another really, really, really useful book. The RHS Encyclopedia of Plants and Flowers. I'm always dipping in and out of that because there's just so many flowers and plants which I have no idea what I'm looking at. Nigel, why? Monty Don. Oh, look at him, little Nigel. That's well worth a read, I can recommend that. It's quite an upbeat book. Right, if we just lower this. And along the bottom, growing herbs, traditional garden. See, again, most of these I use for just ideas. Look, I literally look through the pictures. Self-sufficient-ish Bible, that's a good read. If you're into growing your own food, that's definitely a good read. The Gardener's Guide to Propagation, that has been so helpful, and I've literally saved hundreds of pounds having this book because it tells me how I can make more free plants. Allotment Folk, this is just a little ideas book that I have with pictures of different people's plots and tiny little pieces about each person. There's a bloke in here somewhere that grows his own tobacco. Trees and Shrubs, beekeeping, not that I keep bees, but you know, it's all part of the dream, innit? One day, you never know, might be able to convince our Claire. Another allotment book, and then there's this series of books here. The Something Specialist, so the herb garden specialist, the propagation, they do a big range of them, but then I've got the Best of Experts Guide, and I've also got the Complete Garden Expert Guide. So that's a very, very useful book, really useful. And then there's this one, Dan Pearson, Home Ground, Sanctuary in the City. It's another one of my ideas book. I don't use it so much as a textbook or a reference book, as a how-to guide. I just get a lot of pleasure of looking at the photos. He's basically had an urban city garden and he's turned it into a little oasis. So yeah, I get a lot of pleasure from looking at that, and I get some good ideas as well. Right, so that's my gardening book collection. Are there any of the ones that I've featured which you guys have as well? If there is, let me know in a comment. Thanks very much for watching. See you later, guys.